Can anybody hear me? Is anybody out there? Hello, hello. Give it a 30-minute. Just want to say hello to everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. I am just waiting before I start. There's 34 viewers. Hello, 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 hello. Sorry, I'm a little late. I'm in Canada right now, and I just want to say hello to everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Um, yeah, we're here. We're here in 2021. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? Let me know if you guys can hear me or not, and if my sound is good. I do not like my lighting, and my eye is being weird. Um, all right. Well, okay, good, good, good. All right. Hello, everybody again. Wahe panitain hanise. Was not get Kasey Nicholson say no. No wa ni ni sin. Today's a good day. Ni na 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 ni. And I'm also part of all the, if you, I'm sure I've done enough of these. You guys know what tribes I am. I'm also Crow, Arapaho, Cree, Blackfeet, Alaska Native. Yeah, and there's some white in there somewhere. Who would have thought looking at you? You part white? Yeah, I'm part white. Who cares? Yeah. So again, I hope everybody's having a awesome time in their homes, wherever they may be. Whatever they may be going through. I hope you guys are getting through it well and happy. And if not, I hope you guys are seeking out the help to get the help that you may need, whether it be in person, hopefully you're wearing a mask, or maybe you're doing virtually. Maybe you're speaking or FaceTiming somebody that you can really trust and talk about things with. And I think that's important for a lot of us, especially going through this pandemic that we've been going through. I've heard many things of depression. I've heard things of anxiety. I've heard things of fear, and I've heard of all these things, going on, and not good things, just a lot of tumultuous things. And I've also heard positive things, and which is good. Kudos to those ones who are really trying to take on new tasks or new adventures or new hobbies from because of this pandemic. Also, for those who may be just trying, period, and keep trying, don't give up. If there's anything that you need to know is you're not alone, and a lot of us, because I'm included in that. Well, I mean, no matter what I'm going through, when I'm talking to you as a Native Wellness Institute facilitator, I do myself go through hard times as well, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, socially. We all go through it, and I think part of it is really trying to find or continually to balance. And I think that's a key word is balance the things that we have going on in our life, and hopefully we're doing that. Hopefully we're trying to create some type of balance in our lives. If there's something in our lives that are lacking, then hopefully we're trying to strengthen that in terms of becoming um, better in that area as well. So please make sure you guys are doing the part that you need to do to strengthen your life, especially through our pandemic. Now, for me, this talk today is going to be called about let go, and I put L.E.T. space go o or exclamation mark, because I think a lot of those I sure like my acronyms when I do my presentations, and I've talked about this one maybe one or two times, and because a lot of it I am still researching about letting go. Um, I'm just now getting to an audiobook. Oh, his name's Hawkins, and his book is entitled "Let Go." And there's several other things too. Because I think in life, when you think you're going, I think if you're good, there's always something in your past that you can let go of that might be creeping up in your life, and maybe you don't know it, but maybe your body or your mind or something's kind of like bringing it up constantly. But you're like, I thought I've worked on letting go on all these aspects of my life, but why am I feeling this anxious feeling? I feel like my life is going good? Why am I getting depressed or whatever it may be, physical symptoms, whatever it may be, and you're asking yourself, why am I doing the why I mean, I thought I went through this. You went to counseling, you or maybe you didn't go to counseling. You've been journaling, you've been writing, you've been visiting, you've been praying, you've been smudging, you've been doing all the things you're supposed to do, but yet something deep down inside you you're not letting go of. It could be anger, it could be resentment, it could be a hurt, it could be something that's kind of more or less blinded by anger. It's not necessarily anger, but it's coming out as anger. Maybe you're just really sad, but it's coming out as anger, and really going further into something that you thought you might have let go of, but you really didn't. And I think a lot of us listening to this are victims to ourselves in terms of not letting go of what we need to let go of. And I think it's hard. It's hard for us, a lot of us, to let go of the things that we need to do in life. It's part of who we are, especially our history, whether it be a traumatic experience, whether it just be an experience that just doesn't serve us well. It's not traumatic, but in some odd way, it just doesn't serve us well. Um, I know, for personally, for speaking for myself, I know there's a lot of traumatic experiences that I have encountered in my life, in my 40 years plus young life, and I'll give you an example. Let me see, what was I doing? I was doing something. What was I doing? And my body automatically released, and it was through the breathing technique that I talked about on my last talk with Native Wellness Institute. And there's things there that kind of started coming up, and this is afterwards, right? After I've been doing all these breathing stuff, and as I'm breathing, and my body is like maybe relaxing or tapping into other little things into my body and my mind and my spirit. I find these little things kind of creeping up. Like I'm like, man, oh, I was on a run. I was on a run. I was running, and I was running in Fort Bellet, Montana, and it was this water plant road is what they call it. And I was running down the road. It's a gravel road, and I'm running down it, and all of a sudden this thought comes up out of nowhere, like out of nowhere. Like I'm like, whoa, I thought I dealt with this, Um, and I'm sitting there and I'm praying, and I'm having a little bit of anxiety while it's not because I'm running, but just because I'm thinking about this thing while I'm running. So I'm kind of going through this little anxiety thing. And I'm like, I'm just gonna keep moving forward. And there's another study I have to tell you guys about that moving forward, how it does something to allow you to let go or move through the process. Anyways, and as I'm running and I'm getting this little anxiety attack or something going on, I'm like, man, what's going on? So I started going through my mind. I'm like, oh, and like, oh, and oh, like, and I'm running. I'm having this little realization, like, these things are still coming up for me, and I was not thinking about them. It was like so far in left field or wherever, what field, that it still crept up, and I'm just like, oh my god, like what's I'm running. I'm like, huh. So I'm breathing through it. I slowed down my run a little bit, and I'm breathing through it. I wasn't gonna stop and start panicking. I was just like, okay, I got this. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm love. I'm happy. That's one of the mantras I say to myself all the time: healthy, happy, and love. I'm healthy. I'm happy, and love. I'm healthy and happy and love. And I'm running through it. I'm running, and I'm trying to get through this thing of like, what's going on. So I realize, obviously, I haven't let go of that traumatic experience that I've experienced, that I thought I went through, but there's probably something more I have to explore into letting go of it. And it's hard. It's something that you feel like you accomplished or you succeeded, but yet it comes back and slaps you in the face, right? And it says, hey, you still got work to do, And I think that's part of being a human being, is we always have work to do. We're always learning. And if we stop learning, that's when we have to be worrisome, I guess, about, well, I think I know everything, but you don't. Not even about yourself, not even about the world. And learning more about myself as I grow up, because, again, I'm an only child, and I never really consistently had the parent figure or the role, not the role model, the sibling of discord, where you could fight with them, then you can forgive them. You can fight with them, and you can kind of gauge where your personal boundaries are. You can learn from them. So a lot of my life, I was really growing up by myself, and trial and tribulation by myself. And during the summers, I had to go spend time with my first cousin, my brothers and sisters in Montana. But at this time, I'm living all over the country, right? And so I don't feel Even today, I feel like I'm really, and now this is another example of letting go, right? But at that time, I don't feel like I really had a base, a ground. I didn't feel like I was grounded in life. You know what I mean? It felt like I was always floating to go do other things. And then in my mind, I think, what is grounding really? Is it specifically staying in one spot, or being comfortable in the skin that you're at, no matter where you're at? And that's something I'm I'm working on. Accepting, even though I'm always going here, there, here, there, here, and even right now, I'm in Kamloops, BC. And before I was here in this stint, I was back in Fort Belmont, Montana, because my mom had COVID and her husband had passing away from COVID. So I was there. And before that, I was here in Canada. And before that, I was in Billings, So, like, this whole, since September, I think I've been just like all over the place. And I think it's taken a toll on me, where I'm going through so many quarantines. I'm trying to respect the province, the country I'm in, or the place that I'm in, or the territory I'm in. And a lot of these territories require you to do the 14-day quarantine. So I'm trying to, but at the same time, I'm in my house. I'm not interacting with anybody. I am almost living like I used to live when I was a younger kid, where I was always moving, and I really would detach from relationships or from other people, because if I attach to them, I'd be leaving again. And so letting go of that idea of, why do you have to detach? Why can't you attach, or why can't you fully invest feelings into A, B, C, or D? And I found myself as a kid, that's what I did when I was a kid. I didn't really fully attach as a kid, because I, in my mind, thought I know I was gonna move 2 or 3 years later. So we're just be friends, but we won't be best friends. And I, to this day, my brother Kenny J, and this is cool, and he's my family. He's my best friend. But in terms of other, like, friends, besides family, I have no best friend. Like, because I've always moved all over the world, not the world, but all over the country. When I was young, I never really emotionally attached to a person to say, hey, this is what I'm going through. Hey, let's go do this. Let's go do that. And that's something that kind of crept up as I was running. Is like, abandonment, fearful, because my mom had COVID. So I had this rolling thought of, what if, it wasn't even there, but it was just, what if, what if something, she doesn't make it through. Okay. And so there's that constant worry. And then I had to worry about my family, here in Canada, and making sure they were safe. And then I worry about myself, so it was just this constant flood of worries and stress, and not relaxing and being in the moment, and just not letting go of what I grew up with, in terms of, like, fear of abandonment, uh, um, hurt, sadness, loneliness. Those are the things, as an only child, I was growing up with. In addition to, I had happiness, I was blessed, and I had all these other beautiful, positive things in my life as well. But there's a point where we focus just on that one negative of life. One negative, could be that one traumatic experience in life, even though we have these thousands of positive experiences in life. But we focus right on that one negative, and that becomes our life. That becomes our thought process. That becomes our pattern of living, is through this trauma. And and I still find myself diverting back to those ways of living that were supposedly how I used to live, and how it was safe for me to live in that trauma, and not letting go. And this one spiritual leader back in Fort Bell, Montana, we were sitting in a sweat. And see, you'll see me sometimes, like, try to roll out, like, my neck, 'cause my neck's like really tense and tight, and it's getting better. But that's my body saying, you need to let go of something. You need to figure out something to let go of. Like, what's going on here? So I've been stretching. I've been taking magnesium. I've been doing things that I thought I need to do physically to get rid of it, but it's not. I think it's an emotional outlet to my neck to say, hey, you got to work on something. But anyways, so you might see me, like, trying to massage my tight neck out. And driving, just driving and all tensed up as well. But anyways, spiritual leader. Why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. Spiritual leader. He said, I remember we're sitting in sweat, and it's nice and calm. You can feel the heat, you can smell the medicines, you could hear the rocks sizzling, and they dropped the door already, and they're saying stuff, and spiritual leader said, sometimes if you walk too fast in life with your head down, or you walk too fast in life, looking around all the time, with your head not down but all around, I should say, um, you grip onto the things in that you feel like are supposed to be helping you, such as hurt, trauma, death, grief, all these things, and you're holding your hands and you're walking and you're looking and you're scanning as you're walking down roads or wherever you may be, and you're just kind of just not focusing on anything. You're just kind of just you're in survival mode, really. You're just kind of like always in this kind of mode. And this is what I was picturing as he was, saying this story. And I'm sitting there and trying to really listen to it. And he said, if you do this too long in life, you miss the things that are intended for you. You miss the things that are supposed to be are meant for you. And when you stumble on the things that are meant for you and you look down and you're ready to grab them, you can't, because you're in survival mode and you're holding so tightly onto the things that you think or you feel or believe that are supposed to help you, such as trauma, blame, hurt, guilt, anger, resentment, lateral violence, lateral oppression, all these things. And you're afraid to let go of these, to pick up the things that are intended for you to heal, but you feel like if you let these go, you're vulnerable, you're weak, you're susceptible, you're seeing all these negative things if you let go. And so what he was really initially saying is that if you let go and things are there that are intended for you, don't be afraid to pick them up. And I have another story after this. Um, don't be afraid to pick them up because you're ready. I mean, they wouldn't have shown themselves things to you. They wouldn't have shown things to you if you weren't ready to heal, to help, to whatever it may be. So I'm like, oh, sitting there and thinking about it, all these years, thinking about it. And am I holding on to things that don't serve me, that don't help me, that don't apply things to my life that are really going to excel my life in all facets, and I don't know. And I think I do, and I think maybe because I'm holding on to so tight and tense like this, that's maybe why my neck is getting tight, my trap's getting tight, the middle of my back's getting tight, and I'm just holding on to something that I'm still exploring to let go of. Okay. Again, like we're all going through these healing journeys. One day you're not gonna. Once, sometime you're gonna feel like you've let go of things, and you're like, oh, okay, good, doom, 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 doom. And then slowly but surely, something starts creeping back up in your life, and you start holding. It could be a traumatic experience that reminds you of a traumatic experience, and you go back through in life. And before you get on to the next story, but that's just a spiritual advisor, or a spiritual teacher, or a spiritual person that set us in a sweat to say, slow down in life, relax, walk with intention, walk to, look at the things, look at that rock, look at that grass, look at the trees, look at that bird, sit and look at that bird and study that bird and watch that bird, listen to the bird, all these things, and I'm just like, and then you think about like, there's a different focus where you're just like in survival mode versus, let go and just, sit there and be with what is intended to be, not what's in your head. Your head will just blind you to the healing that you need sometimes, and yeah, before we get into the story, I'll go into these comments here real quick. I always like reading comments. I don't know, so I know some of the other ones don't do that, but I like to look at these. um yeah, so Gail Haggerty, hi Kasey, love you, your knowledge. I don't have, this is not my knowledge, Gail. This is all passed on from the people that I know and I've worked with and I'm a part of, and I'm just sharing these things. I choose to retain some of the information to help others that may not have heard it before. So I don't know if that's knowledge. I guess that's knowledge. I don't know. Like, see, oh, that's another thing I do. Anyways, Dusty Olson says seasonal depression. Yes, very much so. Seasonal depression can be warded off a lot of times with certain vitamins and minerals that you might be lacking. So also look into that as well. We get less vitamin D, so our body starts kind of going into a depressive state. So up your vitamin D if you can, but always go consult your doctor, your physician, and find out if that works for you or a natural path or something like that that can run blood tests and then say, hey, okay, we got these herbs or these vitamins or minerals to help you out. And there's actual natural herbs and medicines out there that actually do the same thing that pharmaceutical medicines do, that you might want to look into and further research as well. I don't know if we have any herbalists on here or not, but if there is, or if you know anybody, please refer her or him to us. We're always trying to explore different ways, methods of healing, and in my opinion, more on a natural way. Sorry. We Guzman, if I'm saying that right. We are human and experience these emotions. Thank goodness for people like you, Kasey, to help us through reminders and tips. Yes. No, thank you for listening and being open to listening to the reminders, tips, and resources that we share amongst each other. So thank both of us. Uh, um, Barbara Franks. I don't know how to say that. I don't want to mess up the. I'm assuming that's a traditional word. Because if you can't let go, it attaches to your body and the toxins spread. Okay. Heidi Christensen sending love from Alaska. Hello from Alaska. Princess Jones, amen. Native RC, body talk. Body talk. Or no, that's a different song. It's a spirit of trauma that attaches itself to the body fat. So yes, your fat in your mitochondria on a cellular level is so crazy. Like if you go into like the metaphysics, or you just go into like understanding the mitochondria of your body, the energy source of your body, and you break it down into all these, it's crazy what your cells do and what they hold on to, or what how they don't fire, or all these other things. And it's crazy. Like if you guys can go, please research a lot of that stuff if you are not already. Malia Collins says the rat race. The Gene Gallegos says the issues are in the tissues. Healing and creator are there to meet them all. Good one. You're right. And need to slow down. Yes, I don't know. I need to slow down. And then when I slow down, okay, here's a good one. When I slow down physically, guess what ramps up? My mind. So when I physically slow down, then my mind starts go racing. Um, But when I'm active, like when I'm running or when I'm out visiting, or I'm not thinking about anything, and then I slow down, like, okay, Casey, you need to slow down, you need to relax, you need to just sit back and meditate, or sit back and deep breathe, or whatever. Then my mind starts revving up, like worry. I've been a worrier. I've been a worrier, a worrier. I've been a person of worry that worries a lot. I think ever since I was small, and maybe it is because I'm an only child. Um, and my mom always says, I knew I shouldn't have worried with you while you were in my tummy, or while she was pregnant with me. And they say sometimes when you're as a baby growing in the mom's womb, whatever she's going through emotionally, it's attaching to the baby as well. So she worries a lot. But now she does it. I don't think she worries a lot. I don't think. I'm pretty sure she does. I think she's really good at it now. Like, but I worry. No, she worries a lot. Who am I kidding? She worries a lot. She still worries. But I worry, and I don't know if I'm taking that as a kid, like as a, let me see, not a kid, as a person who's thoughtful and caring. Where I always say, man, I can't help it if I'm just caring and thoughtful about everybody. But is that different from worry? You know what I mean? Like, I'm worried that they're not. I'm worried that they're not going to feel at home. So I'm going to be thoughtful and caring enough to make sure they have everything they need, so I don't have to worry about them. But even when after they have everything they have, I lay in bed and I worry about the guests that stay with me, or my family, about are they comfortable? Do they need anything else? And is that caring or is that worry? You know what I mean? That's something that I have to work through, and that's minimum. I mean, that's stuff that a lot of us don't think about, but we need to, because it's something that might be impeding in our rest or our mind, something like that. You know what I mean? So that's something. Nicole, love from Texas, right on. All human. Gene Gallegos, recovery in ACOA has been such a resource of healing for so many. Okay, the red book of ACOA. Yes, and these yes, Gene Gallego, affirmation for anxiety. I am enough. I have enough. I am doing enough. So yes. So So if you guys have any resources, hello, Carrie. I'm actually, hi, Carrie. I'm actually in Kamloops, BC right now, Carrie. So that's cool. You're just right up the road. Is it up the road? I think it's up the road. I think Williams Lake is north of here, 2 hours roughly. But yeah, okay. So anyways, we can go back into our the presentation. So we go back to let go, and these things that we need to let go of in our life, and how they're just attaching to our body, our minds, and our spirit. So if you had a spiritual trauma that's going on in your life, spiritual trauma, whatever it may be, maybe you had maybe a, I don't know how to say this. Maybe you're fasting and something that supernatural, something unexpectedly happens and scares the poop out of you, and you don't know how to take that, and you don't know, there's something humanly possible that not might couldn't have happened to you, but it's there and it's traumatizing. So you don't know how to really take that. Does it create fear? Does it create comfortability? Does it create knowing that it's something there's there, energy wise. But for some people, spiritually, that can be traumatizing, which scares people out of continuing their spiritual journey in terms of fasting, sun dancing, whatever other ceremonies that there may be, because that fear or the uncertainty, or I don't know. Um, uh, but anyway, so there's a spiritual thing of, that might have happened. It took you another way, which is fine. But as you kind of grow older, maybe that thing comes back. Not that spirit or anything, but that memory comes back and says, "Hey, you forgot about me. You just left me, and you forgot about me, and we need to work through this. Because I'm still unsettled, and you haven't really let go of this fear that has grown since this time. And what are we going to do about it?" And some people push it down, some people forget it, some people try to not think about it, but yet it creeps up, and then that fear could turn into anxiety, or that fear can turn into depression, or that fear could turn into something that you're not letting go of. Mentally, emotionally, being called stupid, ugly, fat, dumb, all these derogatory words, and that could be meaningful to you, or as a man, or as a woman, don't cry. You're not supposed to cry. That could be traumatizing for you. You get hit, say don't cry, and they hit you. You're not supposed to cry. Quit crying, and hit you again. That could be traumatizing. Again, you push it back as you grow up through life. That comes up. Maybe you're doing it to your own kid, and you realize that's traumatic, and there's something that you haven't let go of, which is probably that traumatic experience back in the past that has happened to you socially. You know, the Facebook stuff, that's traumatic. Everybody was on that whole the Capitol thing and the storming the Capitol thing. For a lot of people, that's traumatic. Seeing that they couldn't take their eyes off the TV screens or off the phone, that's traumatic. They just got glued into this traumatic experience, and maybe through in life later on, that's going to result in some type of trauma within us that we didn't realize we were holding on. Like some people saying, a lot of those issues and emotions get stuck into our body, our fat cells, our mitochondria, whatever it may be, and it stays there unless we let go of it, unless we figure out a way to release it. Okay. Physically, same thing. Because of all these other things, you look at yourself in a mirror and you traumatically abuse yourself. You self abuse yourself in terms of looking at yourself in the mirror and saying you're ugly, you're stupid, you're worth nothing, because you've maybe heard stuff like that, or you've heard other people call other people stuff like that, or you broke your arm, you got in a car accident, uh, anything like that, cancer, illnesses, sicknesses, anything like that is traumatic. You worry, you're like, oh my God, what's going on? And that comes back up as well. And when that stuff comes up, it again goes into the mind or the heart or the body or the cells or whatever it may be, wherever you're holding it, it goes to there and it attaches itself, unless we smudge up and we talk about it and we pray about it and we truly let go. Okay. We truly really work on it to let go. And I myself am working at the things that I'm trying to let go of. And I'm still searching for why am I so worrisome? Why am I so at times fearful? Why am I so times I'm worried about A, B, and C rather than myself and taking care of myself, And where does that come from? Where does that stem from? Why did I adopt that to say that's going to function well in my life, or not even knowing that's how I function well in my life? And so that's some things that we need to really think about, especially as native people or indigenous people or just human beings in general, is we are a complex little system of so many networks firing off every day. We're doing things, and something's going on. But I feel like if you really want a healthy, happy, loving, balanced life, you know, we have to put that work in. And I was just talking about this to a coworker, to a family member, and up here in Canada, and we were talking about, how um, a lot of I'd say older people, older, like my mom or my dad, or their parents, how they hold on to trauma and they don't want to work on these new concepts, this yoga or breathing meditations, it's all like blah to them, whatever it may be. And not all older generations, just a majority, I'd say a majority of them. And a lot of people, and even maybe we're all guilty of it, think, okay, I'm going to do this for a certain amount of time, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to quit on it. Not realizing you have to give it time. You have to give your body, your mind, your spirit time to let go and learn how to let go and learn the process of letting go, to say, I'm going to stick through it so that my body can release. Because if it's not working, because usually a lot of general symptoms come up and your body will, I think, fight it. Like, whoa, wait, hey, what's going on? Whoa, wait, no, hey, what are we doing here? Are we really giving up on the stuff that we've lived for 30 years? Like, we're not, are we really seriously going to let go of this stuff? And it has to go through this debate with itself, sometimes. It has to go through this process of letting go. And just because it doesn't work right away, doesn't mean that it's not working. Example, again, lifting, running, physical activity, if that's something, eating healthy. You can't expect just to eat salad for a week and think you're going to lose, 30 pounds, or you're going to reverse your heart disease after a week, and you can't say, oh, well, good. Well, I've been eating salad for a week and my blood pressure's still high, or I've been eating salad for a week and I haven't lost any pounds, you have to give your body the time to adapt to what you're giving it, whether it be positive or negative, to allow it to work. And that's my suggestion to you, is to allow it to work, to trust the process and continue to do it. Now, I'm a person that will go, I'm a yo-yo person. Like, I'm working to be a person where it's more consistent, more flowy, but I'll run for, a month, get my miles in, and then I'll drop off for like 2 weeks, and then I'll go back and I'll run for like, 3 weeks, and I'll drop off for a week, and I'm one of those, like, why can't I consistently just continue eating? I'm not going to eat, too much sugar or candy. I'm on it for like a month. And again, a lot of this stuff is called discipline. We have to discipline our mind and our bodies to get through the process and get to the results we want, no matter what happens. Through this process, we have to stay the course and not self-defeat ourselves, to give ourselves the best medicine that we could possibly give it. And I'm guilty of this a lot of the times, but I'm becoming better at it. I am becoming more aware of it. And I'm trusting the process. Okay, I'm not beating myself up after eating, I don't know, 2 candy bars in a day. I don't know. That's just an example. I'm not gonna beat up myself for that. I'm like, okay, that was that, and okay, now I got 300 calories that I need to work off, or I need to figure out how I'm gonna balance that, and it's okay. It's okay. Hey, you fell off the wagon, you stumbled a bit, get back up. Let's do this. Okay. So we have to really, as these older people, understand. Even just us, we'll just say us, anybody goes through this change. We just have to trust the process of the process of letting go. And if you read that book, the Hawkins, I can't remember his name. Something Hawkins, Letting Go. Anyways, if anybody's ever read that book, please let me know. Native Wellness said, thank you, Kasey. Out snow hiking and listen to invigorating. Oh, Theta, she's out snow hiking. Nice, right on. Getting out there. Now, she's a good example of getting out and doing things. She has a pet fox. She has a pet other stuff, around wilderness, outside life, so that's being outside, man. I got this one shirt that says, nature is better than therapy, or something, or nature, or I forgot what nature is therapy, or therapy better than therapy. Nature is better than therapy. I think that's what it says. Let me see. Yes, everything is a process. Vanessa said. Patrick, you must forgive and have compassion to move on. Yes. And if you like, I always find, going off of what Patrick said, I always find people are sometimes more compassionate and forgiving to other people than they are to themselves. And I would encourage everybody to be that person you're being to somebody else, to yourself. I know people that will always compliment, always compliment. You're such a beautiful person. You're such a great person. And then I hear them talk about themselves, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not that good, or I'm not that great. I'm not that pretty, or whatever it may be." And I'm like, "But you just told A, B, and C that they're pretty, they're good, they're awesome, they're healthy, but then you can't give yourself that, your own medicine." So I always tell people, look in the mirror and accept yourself who you are right now in this moment, in a mirror, in front of a mirror, just bearing all. And I probably always say this in all my talks. Take off all your clothes, stand in front of a mirror, and just accept yourself as who you are in this moment. That's probably the best acceptance that you could ever do, and letting go of whatever other stuff that has happened in the past, or whatever person has said, or whatever magazine cover has said, or whatever else has been, the ideals of what we're supposed to look like, how we're supposed to sound, how we're supposed to, all these things. You can't change any of that at that moment. You were perfect in that moment. You were perfect as is in that moment. Are there things that you want to change? Of course, we all want to change something within our physical appearance, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever. But in that moment, in that very second, that second, this second, this second, you're perfect in those seconds. But you can have goals in the future to attain certain things that you want in life, and not be disappointed that you don't look or sound or are like A, B, C, and D. You are you. You are nobody else, but you are you, and you are going through the things that you need to go through at this moment, at this perfect moment, to be the perfect person that you are. And I think a lot of people have to accept that. And I've been kind of slacking on that, I haven't been downing myself like that, but I haven't really been talking to myself. I've been asking questions to myself, but I haven't been, what do they call it? You know, um, what is it called? The mantra thing. Not really telling myself this is who I am, and you are this, Kasey, and you are beautiful, and you're great, and you're healthy, and you're happy and love. Rather than asking myself, how come I'm not feeling 100 today? How come why am I sore today? Why do I have this little phlegm in my throat? Why are my eyes looking tired? Like, I ask myself the questions, but I don't reaffirm to myself, like, but hey, you're going through that stuff, but you're still beautiful, you're great, you're healthy, it's nothing. Drink more water, eat more vitamins, go exercise, go for a walk, go snowshoeing, go do what you got to do, Kasey. You're doing fine, you're great, you're great, you're good, don't worry about it. I love you, and you're gonna have an awesome day today, Kasey. Okay, I usually always try to do that, but lately I haven't, because I'm stuck in quarantine, probably maybe feeling sorry for myself, I don't know, and not doing what I need to do more often. Okay, so that's something to think about. Molly Kai. Yes, she says. Jean Gallegos. To each person, I also worry about. I've been taught to pray. For example, mom. Sorry, that's all it came up as. Oh, David Hawkins. Thank you, Marcel. Mar. Thank you. Yes, David Hawkins. It's a good one. You guys should read it. It's really, really good. I don't like this angle because it looks like I'm talking like this the whole time. My windy eyes are now open. Looks like my windy eyes are shut all the time. That's bright. Holy. I don't know. Anyways, because I'm talking down the lights here, so it makes me look like my eyes are. Anyways, okay. Nature is our church, eh? Yeah, sure. Did I say eh? Did I say that? That Jillian? Oh no, that's Theta. Oh, Mom, I love you. I bless you. I release you into the infinite care of Creator. Creator will take care of all of us. Jean Gallego says, nature is therapy. You right. Thank you, Molly Ka, if I'm saying that right. So there it is. Thanks. Um, and you can actually, I think you can listen to the actual audiobook uh, on uh, on YouTube. I think I'm pretty sure. Carrie, you've been reading about codependency. Oh, I've been reading about codependency. Whoa, hola. Yep, I can definitely patterns. Yep, yep. You're welcome, Patrick. Negative self-talk. Would I allow others to talk to me that way I talk to me? Sometimes we give ourselves double standards, right? We go through these things in life in terms of we say we're gonna let go and we don't, but we tell other people to let go. We don't do that self exploration in terms of why am I not letting go. A lot of us will play that game of always pointing the finger. You should do this and you should do that and you should do this and you should do that. And we don't realize we should actually in turn and we should point the finger back at ourselves and realize that we ourselves are not doing what we suggest to people. And when I'll speak for myself, try to help others, it's a good realization to me. Am I doing that for myself? Today, right now, as I'm talking about this and preparing for this talk today, I was thinking about that, right? I was thinking about, when I talk about letting go, what am I doing? Am I going to tell everybody, hey, this is how you're supposed to let go, and this is the only way to let go, or are you going to be an open book and say, and be honest with the viewers about what am I going through in terms of letting go? What are some things that I've tried to let go of? And I think speaking from the heart is always the best. So I have these little, notes that I have sometimes, and then I just let my heart kind of go with it. I just let it take it, from my education, from my spirituality, from my professionalism, from my relationships, and I just let it feed me, and then I express to you what comes out, and I feel like that's more or less lecturing. Like I'm not all about lecturing. Maybe my kids, hey, now, I mean, this is what we also think about this, and what you did and how you're acting right now is, I guess that's teaching. I don't really say it's lecturing, but anyways. Nina Renshaw Power says it's strange sometimes when I think I have to let go, I will revisit me, reminds me that it's constant work. It is always. Don't ever think we cannot be better than we were yesterday. We should always strive to become better today than we were yesterday. That's probably one of the most important things I've ever heard was like, did I do something incrementally, a fraction better than I did yesterday, or who I was yesterday? And I think most days I would say yes, and that's part of the growing process. And there's going to be days where you step back, two or three times, whoa, 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 but you keep moving forward, you keep learning from these experiences, especially letting go. When we don't learn the lessons, we will keep repeating them. Vanessa Pinnacus, if I said that right, Torres. When we don't learn the lessons, we will keep repeating them. Okay. Molly Ka said truth. Sorry, English, not my tongue. Oh, thanks, Molly Ka. That's all right. That's good for you. Speaking from the heart. Right on. Okay. So now, my little acronym of letting, or not, like let go. The first one is love. Okay. LETGO. First one is love. Love yourself. Love yourself no matter what it is, no matter what trauma it is, no matter what you're going through in life. Always love yourself. First and foremost, love yourself. Give yourself the love that you so desire. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a hug. Remember those days where you'd go into a corner and then you do this, you act like you're kissing somebody, but it looks like, anyways, kiss yourself, like, you're so beautiful, like, because you deserve it. You really deserve to love yourself. Like, in order to let go, you need to, um, love yourself. Seriously, you really, really need to love yourself. Not anybody else, just yourself. We're talking about self. They are not going to let go of your trauma because that's their responsibility. You need to let go of your own trauma, your own experiences, your own things that might be holding you back. But first and foremost, love yourself. Okay, that's my L for let go. L-E. E is emotions. Understand your emotions. Take the research, take the time to understand the emotions that you're going through. Write about it, learn about it, read about it. Um, Go to a counselor and discuss. Go to a spiritual advisor and discuss about these emotions that you're feeling. Um, uh, Listen to YouTube, read books or whatever, YouTube books about emotions, and these motivational speakers that are out there that are explaining the emotional attachment to a feeling and how it interacts, and when we let go and separate all these things, you can go in there and you can see. I mean, I don't want to go too much into that stuff because I need you guys to do your own exploration in terms of understanding your emotions. You say you're mad, but yet you're showing me tears. You're showing me you get it, but yet you're showing me you're confused. Like, are you confused? Are you mad? Are you angry? Are you sad? What are these emotions that you're going through, and how does it feel? Sit with those emotions, and just be with that, and just, oh, okay, this ain't sadness. This is hurt. This is something. This is regret. This is a sad. This is something else more than what I'm labeling it as. This is so much more than what it is. You ever think about a root? Think about a root. And how the root is longer than the actual top of the tree, or the top. You know what I mean? You pull it out. You pull out this little nub or whatever, this weed or whatever it may be, and you pull it out, and the root is like so much longer than the top, and you didn't realize that it had that much impact on the soil, or grabbing nutrients from the healthy stuff. This little weed that's grabbing nutrients from things. So you grab this little weed and you're just like, holy, and it just comes out longer than ever. That's exactly you really need to understand about emotions, because sometimes your emotions, it may seem small, but when you work at it and you start pulling out that emotion, you realize that attachment that it had to everything around you, draining from the happiness, draining from the love, draining from everything. And you didn't realize it was just this little nub that was creating so much chaos, I guess, in life. And you pull that out, and you're like, oh, guess what happens when you pull that little weed out? That flower or that healthy grass or whatever it may be that you feel is healthy, that's going to grow back in place of it. Because now the nutrients, it's this little weed's not sucking the nutrients out of it. The grass or the flowers or whatever it may be is able to grow in place of it. So think about stuff like that in terms of your emotions. Okay. It's so important. Now we talk about trauma. Okay, L-E-T. T, and it ties to emotions, but T is understanding that trauma. Okay, here's our emotions. Here's our emotions. First, we're loving ourselves. We're accepting ourselves, who we are in this moment. Then you got the E, your emotions. Here's my emotions. Okay, here's my hate. Here's my anger. Here's my betrayal. Here's everything that I have. Now you understand where the trauma comes from. Is now, how does this trauma tie into my emotions? When was I traumatized? When did I tell myself all these things? Why am I allowing myself to live in this trauma state? You have to understand the trauma that you're going through there, or the traumas that you've been through, and the traumas that you continually to go through. You have to understand those things. You have to understand the trauma to get past the trauma, I guess you would say. Like, if you don't understand the core, okay, here's a good one. If you don't understand why you keep running off the road, okay, on an icy curve, and as you keep going at 100 miles an hour on a curve when it says 30, and you keep running off the road every time, and that's traumatic, and you don't understand why, because you're not paying attention, you're not understanding. So you start working at learning that trauma. You understand, like, okay, I keep running off the road. Why do I keep running off the road? Okay, I don't have snow tires. I don't have tires that are good to grip the road on the icy turn. Okay, good. I'm gonna grab some snow tires. My goal this time, I'm staying on enough, but yeah, I still slide off. Okay, come back on. All right. Okay, maybe I need to slow down. Maybe I'll slow down to 50 miles an hour instead of 100. And now you're grabbing the road, but still everything's still pulling off you. You kind of have this. You hit the road bumps, right? Still traumatic. It still creates things, and you keep working at the traumatic experience, and you are the vehicle, obviously, and you're trying to work at the situation that creates trauma. But if you keep hitting that freaking road at 100 miles an hour, you're going to continually give yourself the traumatic experiences that you don't deserve. Okay, so that's T. Okay, G, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess yeah. So I just want to make sure I'm getting everything. L-E-T. Yeah. I want to make sure I'm getting my notes right. L.E.T. Okay, cool. So let go. So we got the love, we got the emotions, we got the traumatic experiences. Okay, then you got the G, and I don't know. This is one I think that I don't know. What would you say? I'm trying to think of a good word for how I would say to explain this word of um. It just gosh. I'm trying to explain it in a way that's not complicated, I guess. Love, emotion, trauma, you know, we'll just call it like being, I don't know. You got love, you got openness, you got the trauma, but then you got, oh, not the openness. Openness is last. Um, I guess it'd be genuine, yeah. I guess you'd be the genuine. That would be the G part is like you got to be genuine with you got to be genuine with the things that at first I put good, but then I really like good, so I remember I changed it to genuine, but I automatically want to go back to good like for the go, but I think genuine is gonna work more because I talk about genuineness in that good the G part, but yeah, you want to be genuine. You want to be genuine, and when you start working towards letting go, you want to be genuine about how things kind of evolve into your life and work into your life. You want to be genuine about your intentions, I guess you'd say, and not being fake about it, not being, not faking it to make it. And this is what I usually talk about in the G part. And you don't want to fake it to make it. You really want to be good to yourself. You want to be genuine about where you're going and what you want to be in life. And especially when you work on the trauma and you work on these emotions, you want to be genuine enough to say, okay, this is where I need to go in life when I let go. I need to let go, and this is my genuine self. This is who I am in life. Okay. The last one before I lose time here, got about 8 minutes ish. Is openness. I always talk about openness in all my talks, and it always comes into my acronyms. And I don't think a lot of people are open enough to the healing. Open enough to be genuine enough to be open to what is to come. You know, I know so many people that when that healing starts coming, we self sabotage ourselves because things are going too good, right? Things are going way too good. Something's going to happen, right? So many people do that. And I'm telling people that you have to be open to whatever is going to come through this healing process of when you let go. You have to be open to that, okay? You have to be, because if you're starting to become fearful, you start to become reluctant, you start becoming ungenuine, you start not loving yourself, you start not understanding your emotions, you start letting traumatic experiences come back, then that's when the whole letting go process doesn't work. It will not work. If you don't work on these certain things in life or understand these certain things in life, and you resort back to not being open, that's the last part of it. Is like when you love yourself, when you open, when you're understanding your emotions, your trauma, and you're genuine. And this last part of openness, when you're open to what's going to happen, and you believe that it's going to be okay in this openness of life, you'll be fine. But as soon as you start kind of being that person on ice, and you start backpedaling, and you start fearing, and not trusting, and that's when the openness starts closing, and you're like, we're not ready to let go of what is going to heal us. And I always encourage everybody to be open to letting go. Be open as you're walking down that road and you're clenched fists and you're just walking and you're just you're not paying attention to anything. I always tell people, be open-minded, have that openness to let go of the things that don't serve you, that things that are not working for you, and just let go. Start scanning, start focusing on the road, start feeling the road, the rocks beneath your feet, the wind through your hair, whatever it may be, and just be open to it. Don't close it off, but just be open to that. Okay. So those are that's my little acronym thing. Um, LETGO. Okay. Let go. Okay. Love, emotion, understanding. Love yourself, emotional understanding. Traumatic experiences are, well, recognizing the traumatic experiences, being genuine with yourself or good to yourself. Um, and then being open to self as well, being open to the things that are coming for you in terms of healing. Be open to that, and then you're gonna have these ups and lows, but eventually it's gonna be up and down, and hopefully you'll get to this point where you're just riding the wave, and you're just like, okay, I got it. Um, but think about stuff like that as we kind of go through stuff. Um, the G part. And that's the thing part is like I always switch back from good to genuine. And then when I explain it, I'm like, okay, do I want to say good? Because do you want to be good to yourself or do you want to be genuine to yourself? And as I kind of go through it, I think I stick more to being genuine. Because sometimes we're not always good to ourselves, but sometimes, self criticism sometimes is genuine. We are genuinely self criticizing, but is that going to hinder or hurt ourselves? Is that good or is that bad? So I mean, the good thing is there's too much flexibility. The genuine is more like, okay, this is my genuine feeling at this time. I'm going to be genuine about where I want to go in life or how I'm feeling. Okay, so those type of things. Yes, Deborah Penny Jim said, yes, I thought the trauma, anger, and tears went away when the person died years later. It was still there. I have a lot to work daily. Yes. Another example. Give yourself a break sometimes because your mind will always worry. Not you, Deborah, but just anybody that constantly tries to work on self. Give yourself some time to just be. Give yourself some time just to enjoy. Don't always feel like you always have to work at it. Always, 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 always. But let yourself kind of like, okay, I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it, and then I let go, and there it is. I worked on it, and now I'm gonna go enjoy life. Okay, things like that. Don't burn yourself out eventually. Um, Nina Renshaw, power is one of the hardest things to do, but it is so needed, and not being in their prison to set our spirit free. Mali Ka, thank you for being part. The G part, Anthony said, yeah. Hello, viewers. I'm Ebony. I want to testify to you all how my fibroid was cured by Dr. Igodalo. I have been suffering fibroid since 2016. I was told by my doctor that there's no possible cure for fibroid except operation. I started taking my drugs not until I saw a lot of testimonial about a professional herbal doctor and how he uses herbal medicine to cure fibroid. I contacted him and told him my problems. He sent me the herbal medicine and I took it for 14 days after that. And I went to check up and I was cured. The medicine has no side effects. There's no special diet when taking the medicine. He also said it cures all these other different things: diabetes, cancer, herpes, all these other stuff, HIV, AIDS, skin infection, lots more. You can contact him. So there's a testimonial and there's some contact information if you're looking into a herbologist or herbalist or however you call it. Again, it's all about sharing the understanding, the knowledge, the wealth that we ourselves sometimes feel like we need to hold on to. But I think nothing's ever like when I get braids of sweetgrass or a lot of sage or any medicine, it's not my medicine to hoard. I always try to share the medicine that I attain from whether I harvest it myself or I've been given it, and I always try to share. I mean, I think that's just the native way to like do things. We just share, especially if someone's going through a bad time. Here's some sage. Um, I don't have much, but here's some of mine. Here's half of mine. Go. I hope it serves you well, or whatever it may be. So I think that's what we're about as Indian people, is especially when we're letting go of things that we try to hold on to thinking it's ours when it's really not. It's meant to be shared, so I share. So it could be healing medicine or it could be traumatic experiences. And I think this Native Wellness Institute Power Hour is good ways to share and let go of things that maybe we've been harboring or holding on to within, well, not with each other, but amongst each other in terms of as we talk with each other. I'm like, hey, yeah, me too. Oh, I understand that too. Oh, thank you for the stretching exercise. Thanks for the breathing exercise. Thank you for the yoga. Thank you for the traumatic events or teaching about the traumatic events that I go through in life. So things like that. But all Power Hours can be found on FB page as well as your YouTube channel. Don't forget, you can go to the YouTube channel and check out Power Hours there. There's tons. Don't be afraid to go click on them. Go listen to them, especially now in a pandemic and a lot of people are still in homes. You can learn from a lot of Native Wellness Institute speakers and guest speakers that share their wealth of understanding and knowledge and experience and education. You can always follow me, especially on my social media all over. If you guys are interested, always you can always email me or message me, and I can give you those as well. I'm always here to help each and every one of you guys. Again, let go, love, understand emotions, under traumatic experiences, good or genuine, or being open to letting go. But I thank you guys so much. I'm going to continue to work on myself. I'm going to continue to work on my emotions. I'm going to continue to work on what I need to in life to get as balanced and happy as possible, because I deserve that, and I deserve that to be to myself and nobody else but myself. And when in turn I treat each and every one of you like that as well, with love, understanding, caring, respect, and I wish nothing but the best for each and every one of you. Be good to one another, help one another, love one another, and I hope to see you guys soon one day in the future, whether it be on an NWI training, in my travels, on a comedy stage, on a speaking stage, whatever it may be. I hope to bump into one of you guys and shake your hand and thank you for the support that you give Native Wellness Institute. I love you guys, and I am done. And again, make sure you guys work hard on letting go of the things that don't serve you well. And we'll see you guys later. I'm out. Enjoy you guys the rest of your week. See ya.